Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nidd podcast. And today we have a teddy bear and DHR.Mike with us.
Hey.
Hi.
Let's go ahead and start with Teddy Bear if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm ATeddyBear. I've been with the Nidd for, I don't know, a long time. Usually what I do with you guys is, space engineer, start that, then Minecraft, but I have good fun with like Gary's Mod and stuff too. That's always good stuff. What have I been playing recently? Let's see, I've been playing Plant Side 2 a lot. My significant other, played Little Terra. What else have I played? The Carmageddon game. That's kind of fun.
Carmageddon? I don't think I've ever heard of that game.
Carmageddon Reincarnation. There's a Kickstarter campaign. It's a race, but you have like 3 ways to win. Just do the race, ram all our cars to like walls and destroy them, or kill every pedestrian on the map too. Is the basic premise of it.
Oh, okay. I think I know what game that is. You get like certain points for different people that you hit.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I've never actually played it myself, but I remember as a kid a lot of people talking about it, making jokes about it.
Oh, yeah. When I was younger, I had the Carmageddon 2. That's one of my favorite games.
Wasn't that the game where people said you got extra bonus points for killing grandmothers or something? Or am I
You might.
And people thought hatred was bad. I guess apparently just killing people is bad, but killing people for bonus points is okay. Anyway.
Yeah, apparently.
Beyond that, not much else, I guess. I didn't really put much thought into this before, came to, so I'm just kind of improvising as we go here, I guess.
Yeah, don't worry. This entire thing is improv.
Yeah.
We come up with this crap on the fly. Yeah, so if you have any random nonsense, spout it out now.
Cheese.
Yeah, you can't say that with Mike, because he really does.
As long as he doesn't make it so that we get banned from YouTube, then it's fine.
I may have to contain myself.
I was going to say, yeah.
Anyway, introduce yourself politely?
Yeah.
Well, my name is Mike. I've played for quite a long time on the Nidd, I suppose. And yeah, lately I've been playing GTA and Space Engineers and that kind of stuff. And I honestly don't know what to say about myself because there isn't much to say, so yeah.
This is the time where you say you're like, a millionaire and you drive a Ferrari.
Yeah, he's actually a
And you're single.
Don't tell them that!
He's actually a multi-billionaire in the Netherlands. So any of you ladies looking for a multi-billion-dollar hubby,
That is most likely insane.
that is most likely that can deal with someone who's
Mentally unstable, as they put it.
yes.
And very good at angering my wife. For introducing me to rather delicious Dutch cuisine that my wife thinks is insane.
Well, it's actually German, officially.
Well, true. For those listening, he got me onto curry sauce, which is...
Oh God.
It's similar to like a ketchup. It's like a thick sauce, but it has curry in it. At least the stuff that I bought is a little on the sweet side, and I started putting it on everything. It's amazing. And like my daughter loves it, but my wife thinks it's just awful and thinks I'm insane for how much I like it.
So far, I've noticed, I think pissing off your wife has nearly become an art and a second hobby for me.
That's true.
Teddy, have you had curry sauce?
No, I have not, but I've had a similar experience with hot sauce.
Oh, okay.
God, what was it? Because, like, everyone, I think, probably at least around here, has a bottle of, like, Frank's Red Hot in their thing. I'm like, oh, man, I'm getting tired of this. I want to try something else.
Uh-oh.
So I go to the store, I just randomly pick out something. I pick out Louisiana hot sauce. Never had it before. I'm like, it's like the cheap stuff. So I get that, I put it on. I'm like, this is amazing. For the whole week, I put on everything, even stuff that didn't make sense.
I used to get this stuff from the dollar store that was amazing.
I may have mentioned down here before, but I'm a cook at like a 5-star restaurant. I briefly did a stage, which is kind of like a working interview at another restaurant, and with their hot sauce, I was talking to the head chef about it one day. He's like, yeah, this is the cheap stuff. He's like, everybody seems to love it. I can't even remember what the brand was, but he's like, it's about a quarter the price of what the good hot sauce is, and nobody liked it, so he just started buying this cheap stuff, and everybody absolutely loved it. So they just kept buying the cheap stuff.
I've noticed that with a lot of things, though, that especially with the more expensive stuff, you're almost mostly paying for the brand more than anything else. Like, it's not qualitatively-wise any better sometimes.
Yeah, you pay for the name, not the quality.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about food. You're making me hungry. I guess on to what I've been playing. Apparently no one else here likes it, but I've been playing RoboCraft. I blame one of the other Niddites for recommending it. Drunk Spider-Man and King of Oranges has been playing it, and Orange roped me into it, and now I've been on a binge of it for the past 5 days. It's an interesting game. You build your own machine. You can give her different weapons, and then you take it into battle. It can be fun.
Awesome.
I mostly like the building part.
I personally tried it, just didn't much care for it myself. That's me. That's just me.
No, dude, entitled to your opinion. I didn't think I would like it, and then I was just like, this is kind of fun. I like anything with customization. What have you been doing?
Well, I started playing Goat Simulator, which
Oh God.
I actually enjoy it. It is the funnest game about nothing.
Yeah.
Like absolutely nothing.
There's lots of nothing, that's for sure. Lots
That's not true. There are a lot of goats.
and things to break your game.
Well, yeah. My favorite thing I've done in that game so far was on one of the maps, you go on top of a skyscraper and the band Deadmau5 is playing, which I'm not big into techno, but I do like their symbol, which looks similar to like a Mickey Mouse head, but round. And you can headbutt the singer and take his hat, his helmet, and run around with the Deadmau5 hat on. So I was quite happy with that.
Do you spell dead mouse?
What was it? I think it's. I know they put a.
There's a number in there someplace there.
Yeah.
I started playing that. I played 7 Days to Die, which Anubis invited me to play, and I'm like, Anubis and Boris asked me to play, and I'm like, I can't really get it right now. I got bills to pay, things like that. So Anubis gifted it to me as an early birthday present, which I thought was awfully nice of him, and it's not bad. It's got a bit of a learning curve to it, but overall I like it. It's a pretty fun game.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun game.
We tried to do a survival series. A few of the videos are up on YouTube of the various YouTubers, but God, I had the worst time because they added it so that if you die, you respawn, but you respawn with less health and less stamina. Normally, if I was playing single player, I would just be like, okay, I just start over, wherever I'm at now is my home, but I kept trying to get back to everyone, and I would just keep dying. So by the time I got infuriated, I was literally just like grinding my teeth about how pissed I was at this. And by the time I finally got to everyone, I had less than half health. So one hit from anything and I was dead.
Oh, jeez.
There's a lot of things that really need to get done in that game, honestly. The worst part was that I kept blaming Boris for it because he was bleeding. he had a broken leg, and I gave him the last of my cloth for a splint, and then I shortly after am hit by a zombie, start bleeding and bleed out. So that cloth I gave him could have been used to save my life.
That's like, yeah.
So Boris is going to go ahead and edit that out. He's like, yeah, that's no.
I'm
not going to put that story out there.
So, what are you talking about?
I'm so sorry about that. I just got so angry. Not particularly at Boris, but at the game, which is, I know that's dumb. It's all the game's fault. But no, it's an early access game, so I think that there are still a lot of things to be improved on.
It has been an early access game for quite a while, though, because I already bought it like a year or two ago.
But we had it. We had it on the easiest difficulty, and we would still get slaughtered by things. It was ridiculous. It's like the only time I get to play the game is I have to turn all the zombies off because I like to actually go out, collect resources, and build something. But that's just me. Because if I turn the zombies on, then I can't get anything done. I'm just being harassed by zombies. And it's like, it's supposed to be survival crafting, and they added building stuff in it. And it's like, well, I would like to do everything, but it seems like I can't.
Well, there's another game you look at. That's real similar to it. It's called Minecraft. It allows you to build things.
Piss on you.
Not if I do it first.
What if I'm into that?
Then that's cool.
Okay, this topic turned odd.
I was gonna say, for me, it's the combat system. Like, the combat was far too difficult.
Yeah.
It wasn't very smooth, and like there was a lot of delay, and just you got the shit kicked out of you left and right.
Yeah,
like,
and there are these dogs on the map, and they just harass you because nothing despawns.
Evil zombie dogs.
Exactly. They harass you, and it's impossible to outrun them because you eventually run out of stamina, and they're still following you.
Yes, because they're evil zombie dogs that have infinite stamina.
Apparently, yes. Apparently, the undead have unlimited stamina.
Oh, personally, one thing, like, I stopped playing 7 Days to Die. Like, I haven't touched it for quite a while. I personally am a bit more of a fan fan of the walking zombie, not necessarily the running zombie, because I don't think a single zombie should be that threatening. It's when they horde up when they should become threatening.
Yeah.
And I get the exception that the zombie dog is fast, but generally, yeah, I generally prefer my zombies a bit slower. But my issue that I always had with 7 Days to Die is I could increase the amount of zombies on the map and I could make them walk. And I could decrease their damage, but still the amount of settings I had were so limited in that control that I couldn't exactly set it up in the sense that I could get a shit ton of zombies that can't do a lot unless they're in a big group.
If they rebalance the game, maybe I won't blow a casket next time I play.
Well, I was going to say, after that, I've still been playing quite a bit of Space Engineers, go figure. I've been playing on the Nidd whitelist server a lot. I have my new computer working. With my new machine, I can put it on extreme settings and build a crap ton of stuff, and I still get really good frames. So I've just been building like crazy on the whitelist server. Yeah, and then I started helping Mike with something he's working on for Space Engineers. And that was the comment I made before we started recording about, oh, I like your ships. Except for I'm going to change them. And then, of course, Medieval Engineers, which Medieval Engineers, it's not very fun yet. But I did go on to... Well, I mean, it's fun, but it's just there's not enough to do yet.
Well, the thing I am mostly hoping for very soon, like I've been playing a lot of Space Engineers myself as well, is mostly the netcode update, because I would still love to be able to finally get a chance to walk on my large ship while it's moving, for example.
Yeah, without clipping out and then dying, or
yes.
For me, it's the rotors and the pistons. You know,
yes.
For me, especially the pistons. I don't care too much about the rotors.
Yes.
I barely ever used them. But the pistons, I really liked them. And especially when they first came out, I made big elevators on a carrier and things like that. But you can't do that. Or you can put like a connector on your piston to be able to extend out and then retract it, which I've always found very useful. But you can't do it, otherwise it tweaks out, breaks off, and explodes.
Yay!
I still in single player, I build a lot of like automatic production machines using pistons and rotors and like things and moving parts, and I just love the moving parts in Space Engineers. They just don't like me back in multiplayer.
Yeah, well, that's everybody. I remember a while back I was playing on a server. And I found a big ship in that, one of the exploration ships, and I refitted it to be able to carry several ships inside. And since the landing gears are so tweaky, like that explode, I decided just to go with connectors, which for the most part, connectors are much better, but only to an extent. I had 2 ships on the inside locked down with connectors, and I had one externally locked on with a connector. The one externally, basically, it started to like blink. Like it would just all of a sudden appear forward from the big ship or behind it, and then all of a sudden it just wasn't attached anymore because the code was so screwed up bouncing the 2 ships around, and then all of a sudden it just floated away. It was just gone. Just flew off into oblivion. And then,
Physics, bro.
Then when I turned on the dampeners to slow down, the ships on the inside came disconnected, slammed into each other, and exploded. And there was a big explosion. And then recently, of course, even on the whitelist server, I was playing, and they have a new glitch that's so much fun. It's with the ragdoll effect. You get out of your ship, and you ragdoll and smack into your own ship and immediately die.
Yes, I've noticed that a few times as well.
I was hunting down a cargo ship in a fighter, and the only thing it shot out was my freaking antenna. So I go to get out of the ship and I smack into my ship and die with no GPS coordinates, nothing to mark where my ship was.
I crashed my game once trying to get a ragdoll sucked out of an airlock. I guess that was when the ragdolls were first introduced. Me and another Niddite, Dr. Honda, were laughing at how ridiculous it looked with the flailing limbs and that while you're using your jetpack. And then I was like, we should see if we can get a ragdoll sucked out of an airlock, because I was like, why not? We're testing things. Why not? And so I kill myself, I run back, and we open up the door, and server crashes.
Oh.
Yeah, we're just like, well, I guess that's it.
You were talking about pistons and landing gear, and before, I think, season 2 of the Land and Nidd server, I had the police station. I had my police car. I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
oh, this would be great. I'll have
Oh yeah.
I'll have on the bottom of it. I had landing gear that would track into it, so I can have like a perfectly smooth bottom, so I can like land and attach to things.
Yeah.
And this went pretty well for most of the time, and then one day, I can't remember, we got a new player, and he was like lost out in space. This is when the spawn points were all messed up.
Yeah.
So people would just spawn their ship like 50 kilometers out. So I was flying out to go try to find this guy, and I'm flying, cruising. I just have it. I don't have like dampers on. I'm just blowing through space, and then suddenly, it just all explodes.
Oh no!
And what it looked like happened from what I saw is I thought I gave enough space around the piston and landing gear to like so it didn't hit anything, but apparently it just vibrated and it broke off, went up into the underside of my ship, which was unprotected to save weight, into my reactor, and then the reactor like dislodged or explode or something, which exploded everything else on my ship and my cockpit. So I'm just out there with like 5 blocks in the middle of space, and you see the key of my police thing just floating by, and everything else is just destruction.
Oh.
Yeah, personally, I consider landing gears, especially if you mix them with pistons, they become explosive gears.
Oh yeah.
Mike has
Well,
experience of turning the unweaponized into the weaponized.
Remember my weaponized solar panel? It blew up half our station.
Oh my god, that thing was a menace. Not only did it take out half of our base, but I mean, we had to repair it so many times, I lost count. And then way before that, like when the server first started, he tried to build us a welding ship, and he disconnected one of the landing gear, and the entire thing exploded and took a huge chunk out of the platform.
Yeah, that's when I took out quarter of the station.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I was using a landing gears.
And then from then on, we never used landing gears ever again.
I think Mike was there for this. Yeah, it was before, same thing, landed Nidd server before it switched over. I remember I joined, but I wasn't on there very long because I was on my old machine, which I was getting a sim speed of 0.5, and it was just
yeah, I know how that feels.
so bad.
I know how that feels.
Yeah. But so I joined, and I was with Dracul, Mike, and Don't Stop Living. And I remember somebody else was there. I think it might have been Killer Apple, maybe? But anyway, because they had a 3D printing room, so we 3D printed up one of my Valkyries, and I parked it on Don't Stop Living's platform, which I always mount my connectors underneath my ship. So he had a platform with connectors on, like, built into the heavy armor. So it was perfect. So I landed it there with 2 landing gears, and it was just sitting there, and we're all talking. I look back, it's wiggling everywhere. So I go and I hop in and I shut off the landing gears, and they just explode.
Oh.
And so it floats off a little bit, and I'm like, all right, I'll just take the landing gear off. So I weld it all up, fix it, just keep the landing gear off, put it on just the connector, which it was fine for a very long time, like maybe like 3-4 days. And I hadn't been on there in like a day or two. Don't Stop Living messages me. He's like, yeah, your Valkyrie exploded again. Like, it's just sitting there, boom.
It's just you can't win in Space Engineers. Everything you build is a ticking time bomb.
Physics always win in Space
I
Engineers.
know.
Yesterday, I'm in the whitelist server, and I'm building this big Dracul-like burrowing large ship miner. I hadn't set up all the thrusters yet, and I bumped it. And instead of building it as a station and then turning it, I just started building it as a ship. I wasn't thinking. So I bring in my grinding ship and use its landing gear just to hold it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I held it, stopped it, and then released it, and it was fine. So I get to welding again, and I bump it. I'm like, oh, crap. So I get back with my grinding ship, hold it again, and then I forget about it. And I look, and there's the wiggle. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. So I get in, and I unlock it, and it's okay. I'm like, there's no explosion. Amazing. So I go to fly it back into my hangar. My ships that were parked and turned off in my hangar are all slammed against the back of the hangar. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then finally physics caught up with me. Something happened with the landing gear where all of a sudden my giant mining ship that's about the size of my station slammed sideways into my hangar, went about 6 or 7 blocks deep into the hangar, and started knocking all my ships around.
Oh my god.
And I just start screaming. I'm like, what the hell? And my wife comes in. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, look at this. She's like, what is going on? She's like, is it the server? And I'm like, no, it's the game. She's like, should you get hold of the developers? I'm like, I'm pretty sure they know. Oh, it was so bad.
The developers knew they wanted something like that to happen.
They're the worst trolls ever. Thanks, Keenhouse.
Once they're listening to this podcast, they might get an evil laugh or laugh like, it's going exactly according to plan.
Well, we've been talking about interesting space engineer stories for quite a while now. Anyone else have any news?
Well, real quick, Lacarthian, I think you mentioned something earlier about Twitch. Like, Twitch has some weird... You're not allowed to play games rated adult on Twitch now.
Yep.
What the hell?
They did it because of, well, at least a lot of people assume it has something to do with the new game Hatred.
It's not that bad. It's boring, honestly.
Oh, Hatred's I watch people play. It's not a bad game being that it's a bad game. It's a bad game that it's just a bad game. Like, it's just blah.
It's just mediocre, yeah.
I was just going to say, I don't understand why it's even a big deal. I mean, people, well, think of the children. Well, censor your kids. Don't censor the content. Like, that kind of bothers me, I suppose. Censorship in general, that always kind of irritated me. I mean, especially with me being a parent, if I don't want my daughter to watch something, I'm not going to let her watch it. Sometimes I'll be watching things that I'll be like, no, you don't need to see this, go play or whatever. So I don't understand the whole adult games aren't allowed on here. Why? Put up a warning or something like that. If kids end up watching it, then that's the parents' fault, not the kids' fault, or the
content provider.
Yeah, thank you, content provider. Sorry.
A lot of people are like, or that complain about that things should be blocked because think of the children, and they almost seem to think that they have the right to be not offended. And on that case, I sometimes almost wish that they got it so far until the point that they actually implement a law or right not to be offended, because then I would be offended by that and win a lot of money in court.
See, ladies, look, Mike's single, lots of money, Netherlands.
Don't forget the Ferrari.
And the Ferrari.
There are legal requirements that these websites, like Steam and Twitch, for example, do need to abide by. At some point, like when you're talking like just content, like are you 13 years older? That's easy. When you're talking like 18, mature content, like we're talking erotic content, we're talking like you start violent content, like you could debate that, but erotic content's like an easy one to figure out. As like the whole system has matured, has Twitch has matured, and has Steam matured, it really hasn't addressed either of these issues. Like because they both have like they want to make sure that it's like accessible to everyone. You want to be like. They don't want me known as a place where, here you go, if you want to watch people play, with their tits out or something, like Twitch had a huge issue with that before they cracked down on it, and Steam doesn't want to know the place where you go to get all your porn games or whatever. But on the other hand, there needs to be, at some point, they need to address, because there are people who want these games legitimately and want to watch the people play these games legitimately, and some does need to come to some way that they can divide up content to say, look, we have adult content, but it's behind some systems, so we're doing our best to make sure that your kid doesn't accidentally get to it behind your back or something.
It's in the back. It's in the back of the video store, in the dark room.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But in the video store, you had the video store owner watching. You'd be like, "Hey, kids, get off there!"
Exactly.
Steam, there's no one watching you over the computer, and that's kind of, I think, a real big issue that needs to be addressed as a whole.
But I think that's the parents' job. Like personally, like with like YouTube or Twitch, like blocking those types of games, they're pretty much only doing the parents' jobs and only blocking actual customers that are fit for that type of content. So, and if children really want to find that type of content, if they're gonna block it on Twitch, it will be uploaded on some sort of other random site where you can pretty much upload anything you want, and they'll find it there.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. I'm not arguing against. Like, I agree with you guys. Their parents should be responsible for what the kids see, but I'm saying from like a business side that the business also, like Steam and Twitch, need to keep up Csstform don't want to be, look, that's the platform you go through because all they have is the porn games or something, or Twitch is where they say, you go see people get their boobs out, there needs to be a good system in there. That's like a great example. It's easy. A system in where they can maintain saying like, oh yeah, we offer all these, regular games like Fallout and Skyrim and whatnot. But behind the curtain, if you're, if you get past the grumpy store owner and the, past the creepy curtain, you get access to the adult games. So it's kind of like it's trading the line, because there needs to be some address at some point about adult content on specifically Steam and Twitch.
But outright banning it isn't a good idea either.
Well, my last question, real quick, is for a teddy bear. If you've ever heard of the YouTuber, was it Frankie on PC and 1080p?
Yes, I have.
Okay, because his is I'm a teddy bear is what he usually goes by on, like, if he's playing a game, his name is I'm a teddy bear, and so every time I've seen your name, I'm like, I wonder if that's
Really?
Frank. Yeah.
No, I am not him.
Okay.
I've been using. I've been using this name since I think I started using Counter-Strike 1.6 before. We had YouTube and even Frankie on 1080p. I don't know why he uses that. It's funny.
I think
maybe that's why I can't get my name anymore.
No, I think he's actually a teddy bear, like in Ted. He's actually just a sentient teddy bear sitting at a computer with a headset.
How do you know I'm not? And we're just a race of sentient teddy bears.
Lacarthian, we're not supposed to talk about him. Now secret organizations are going to kidnap him and do testing on him.
First rule about the race of teddy
Good
bears:
job.
you don't talk about the race of teddy bears.
I can live with it. Shall we wrap up?
Yeah, I was gonna say we're hitting about that time. So unless you guys have anything else to say,
I have things to say about cheese.
Oh,
well, no, except for Mike. Mike, your speaking privileges have been revoked.
Yeah. We can't risk it. We can't risk it.
But anyway, thank you guys for listening. And Teddy Bear and Mike, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
No problem.
No problem.
We'll see you guys again in 2 weeks.
We love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.